So the question asks you to determine an equation for the shortest route to a connecting point C, which is 1318, to the pipeline running from point A, 5040, to point B, which is 2030. So I started by going on Desmos and creating basically the diagram just in a neater way, and I was able to figure out the slope. So first what I did is I wrote the information that I had, which is that I knew what point C was, which is 3618, and I knew what the slope of line AB was. Using that slope, I was able to also calculate the y-intercept of that line, and using that, I was able to find the perpendicular slope of line AB. So next, I used the equation for a line through point 3618 that also had a slope of -3. And basically what I did is I plugged in 36 and 18 into y and x in the y equals mx plus b form of the slope of a line. And I was able to figure out that the y-intercept was actually 126. Now moving on to step 3, which is finding the intersection point by substitution. I basically assumed that the two y's were equal and realized that, and basically used all the other information from the two equations, being the slope of 100 and being the y-intercept of 126, and also using the line AB, the slope of the line AB, and all the other information of that. Using that, I was able to figure out what x was in the intersection point. Now using what I figured out as the x, I was able to figure out what the y was in that same equation. So I figured out that it was 7.06x roughly, and for the x. Now using the y, I was able to determine that the y value of that point was 25.48 roughly, which is a bit over. So yeah, I got a POI for this question of about 7.1 and 25.4, which is not all that close. I'm not sure what went wrong when I was calculating this question, but that's the answer that I got. Now on to the next question, which is basically 3 towns that form a triangle, and towns A and B are 200 kilometers apart, and angle CAB and AC is 50 degrees, and angle ACB is 64 degrees. Now using that information, I was meant to determine the distance between town A and C and the distance between towns B and C, which I labeled here and here. So at first I tried out cosine law, but then I realized that using this information I was not able to figure out the answer with cosine law. So I switched to sine law, which I laid out here. So I knew that I knew the 2 points right here. I knew that I knew like the opposites here, which the 2 C's, 200 kilometers and 66 degrees. Using that, I was able to figure out what A was first. That's when I chose, and I was able to determine that the length of A was 167.61 kilometers, and I was also able to determine, and then that was A, one part of the question. The next part of the question was to determine B. So I decided to use C again, even though I could have used A, but I decided to use C because it was easier. And using that, I was able to determine that B was actually 196.72 kilometers, solving the question. So the 3 side lengths of